Madam President. Welcome to Morocco. Madam President, Tanzania, with its strategic geographical location and the abundance of its natural resources, plays a crucial role in East Africa's economic ecosystem. Drawing from Tanzania's experience, what lessons do you believe can be extrapolated to the wider African context to catalyze regional integration and intra-African commerce, because as you know, we're one of the least integrated continents in the world, and accelerating the economic transformation of the continent, aligned with the free trade agreement, with the continental free trade area that President Bio mentioned extensively. The floor is yours, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. First of all, let me join others in thanking the host, the government of Morocco, hosting this conference, but again thanking the FDB for organizing this forum and provide a platform for us to be able to share the successes, stories, but also challenges, and maybe we'll come up with the possible solutions of the challenges that face Africa. Having said that, let me say yes, Tanzania is very strategically located at the east of Africa, and we are sharing borders with 8 countries, and so all these 8 countries depends on Tanzania, on transportation of people and goods through various ports of Tanzania. But then before going to the ports, let's say connectivity is the major issue in Africa, and that's a gap we are having. Africa has to invest a lot in connectivity. Talking of connectivity, I once attended a conference in Senegal, and reaching Senegal, I had to go to Paris first, going to Europe and then coming back to Africa. So that's a problem of connectivity in our continent. But in Tanzania, how are we dealing with the connectivity, working with all these 8 neighbors? We are using roads. We have invested a lot in connecting Tanzania with our 8 road accessible countries like Zambia, Mozambique, Malawi, and others who can be accessed by roads. But we are also using water transport, ports. Tanzania has got, say, 6-7 ports. We have a port of Dar es Salaam, which is a major one, and a main gate to Eastern and Central and Southern Africa. But then we have a port of Tanga, which gives access to the northern part of Tanzania, then to the neighboring countries. But we also have Mtwara port, which is opening the southern corridor of Tanzania and going to Malawi. And then we have the northern corridor. The northern corridor is Tanga, I've mentioned it. But we also have Zanzibar port, which is an island. You can go everywhere from Zanzibar. But we also have ports in our lakes. We have Mwanza port in Lake Victoria, as well as Kigoma port in Lake Tanganyika. And Kigoma can take you to DRC easily. So we are working on all these connectivities. We also have railway networks. Again, the ports are connected to the rail networks. So we have the northern railway, we have the central railway, but we also want to establish the northern one. The central railway, this is the upgrading of the Asian railway, and we are now constructing the standard gauge railway, which will connect the port of Dar es Salaam to Burundi, through DRC, also Uganda, we are going to be connected with this port. We are also connected by air. Air Tanzania is now transporting people and goods to the neighboring countries and even outside Africa. So that's how we are connected. On abundance of resources, yes, Tanzania is very much gifted. We do have critical minerals for technology-intensive industries, the minerals which the world is looking for nowadays. We do have about 5 of them. Tanzania has got nickel, has got cobalt, we have graphite, we have lithium, we have others. So Tanzania is well gifted with minerals. But again, the energy sources. Tanzania is having gas, we have solar, and we have water, hydropower. So energy sources, Tanzania is very much endowed with energy sources. The only thing now is to invest and make sure we do have enough power for industrialization and other development activities. But we also have an arable land for agriculture. So we are well blessed on the natural resources. For intra-African commerce, yes, as I said, we do have all these connections for transportation of people and goods, and so it facilitates African trade and investment. But again, we invest heavily in human capital development and also in diversification and modernization of our economy. The technology and digital innovation, we have given a priority to it. We have started, we have established several startups for the youth, for them to be able to engage in various sectors, coming with innovations on how they will work on several sectors. Important thing of all is the embracement of private sector. For us, we know that private sector is the only engine of economic growth. And so we are working with the private sector. We have created an environment, favorable environment for private sector to thrive in our country. And so we are receiving a lot of private business in our country. But having said all that, I'm emphasizing on 2 major areas: investment on infrastructure, on transportation of people and goods, and this is what is going to be discussed today in the boardroom, and I welcome all these participants to be with us and listen to us on what we need to present in the boardroom. Having said all that, important thing for us, and this is a lesson people can learn from Tanzania, is political stability, peace and security of the country. Tanzania is very, very well known on this. And so to make Tanzania continue to be a peaceful and stable country, we have come up with the 4R philosophy. And by 4Rs, we mean reconciliation, resilience, reforms, and rebuilding of our nation. As everybody is aware here that Tanzania is a democratic country, and so we do have about 17 political parties. So election is our way of giving permission to one party to run the country. So after election, we all have to sit together and agree on which way we want to develop our country. So we reconcile. If any wrongs done, we have to reconcile, but then we have to have huge resilience. And again, together we make the reforms and we rebuild our nation. So the major lessons could be 2. Investing in infrastructure, Three, human capital and peace and stability of the country.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Madam President. Madam President, you have made history as Tanzania's first female president and have since been steering your nation toward inclusive economic growth with a particular focus on empowering women and youth. As Tanzania is embarked in this journey, continues to integrate technology and innovation within its industries, and embarks on a significant infrastructure project, could you share with us how you are balancing the rapid pace of this economic modernization with the imperatives of sustainability and social inclusivity, especially in sectors like manufacturing and agribusiness, which are pivotal for Tanzania's transformation?
Thank you so much. Yes, I should thank God for giving me this responsibility. And as a woman, as a mother, and a grandmother, I've decided to take some of the issues as my own agenda. First of those issues are the sectors of education and health. Recognizing the role education and health are playing in economic growth, I have decided to intensively work on these two sectors. So on health, major work has been done by the previous phases of the government, but then I've decided to work more on the quality of health which is given to our people. So provision of health centers to the level of, to the village levels, but provision of medicines and drugs, health equipment, treatment equipment, and the manpower to serve the people. That's one point. And on health, I thought to embrace health for everybody. And so we engaged in universal health insurance for the whole country. This is what we are working on now. And also issues of nutrition. We thought these are important issues for the betterment and for the growth of our youth in Tanzania. Issues of maternal and infant mortality are as well part of my priority areas. But then on education, Tanzanian government has decided to give free education to everybody. But then, of course, having free education is one thing, but still there were some challenges which makes children of Tanzania to drop out of the formal system of education. So we have decided to give the second chance to them, especially girls who dropped out for any reason to come back to school and continue with their former schooling. And we have done that, and the girls are back to school. But also, we have dedicated special schools for science subjects for girls. So we have special science school for girls because we have noted the gap in science sectors. Girls are not very well involved in there. So we have special schools for girls, also the vocational training centers. Because we are talking on the fourth industrial revolution, we have to have employable workforce. So we have established vocational training centers throughout the country, and the youth are being trained in there. Apart from that, I think sustainable development for women and youth is again very important subject, and we are working on various issues catering for their sustainable development And one very important issue is involving our youth and women in the program called Building a Better Tomorrow for Youth and Women. And this is about engaging this population in agricultural activities. And by agriculture activities in Tanzania, we mean crop farming, fisheries, livestock keeping, and honey making or honey farming. So we have created a program which is called Building a Better Tomorrow, and this is about modernization and commercialization of productive sectors, agricultural sectors. And this includes also heavy investments in mechanization, irrigation, agro-processing, and digital platforms for youth. And the digital platforms is looking on access to agriculture extension services, marketing, also incomes, source of, or calculations and getting incomes for the smallholder farmers. So in here, we are very thankful to the African Development Bank, which is giving a very substantive support in this program. And a lot of our youth are now engaged in this program, and we hope by 2030, agriculture sector is going to have a lot of contribution to our GDP. So that's about technology and industrialization.
Thank you very much, Madam President.